Hey everyone, I am Jessica from Willow Vine's Intuitive Vibes, and I'm here to do a collective message. So please like the videos, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe to join the tribe. Stick around, because there's so much more to come. And that's kind of the energy here with, whoever I'm reading for. It feels like I heard focusing on the future. So, I always talk about being present in the present moment and enjoying the moment, which I do feel like whoever this message is for, you do that. But you do have future plans. So it's like, yes, I'm focused on what I need to focus on today, in the moment, living life, what have you. But I do have these plans that I'm going to work towards. So that's really good. And I kind of feel like that's where somebody is mentally. Like, we're getting out of the past. We're clearing that shit away, releasing fears, anxiety, stress, baggage, what have you. Like, I feel like I'm finally releasing things that I didn't even realize I needed to release because I thought I had already healed, kind of thing. Because I'm talking to somebody who has been on this healing journey and the journey of self-discovery for a long time now. It could be many years, could be a few months even, but it feels like you put the work in, you know what I mean? And it's work towards bettering yourself, mentally, emotionally, everything. It's all encompassing. So it's almost like, why isn't this happening for me? Why isn't love in my life? Why isn't this project taking off? Why didn't I get that job? Whatever it is like, why isn't it happening now when I feel at my best? Well, yeah, you feel at your best because you are at your best because you've released so much. But there's still a few little tidbits in there that you need to overcome in order to be prepared for this opportunity. And it does feel like it is fear-based, which fear is an illusion that we create within ourselves due to trauma, pain, trust issues, what have you. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It's just shit we need to learn to overcome. And I kind of feel like someone is realizing, like, maybe that's coming to the surface, like, oh, yeah, this does bother me. Why does said subject or whatever bother me? And it's facing it. The second you face it and you do that little bit of shadow work, because I feel like it's piece by piece, because there's not much left here. That's what it feels like. The air is clear, but it's just like little specks of dust. When your whole house is clean and then you notice cobwebs in the corner, it's like, I forgot about that. That's what this feels like. So there's something that you weren't focusing on that maybe you did forget about, that was painful to you at one time, or it's just kind of hindering you even just a little bit. So I don't know, the advice here feels like when you find those cobwebs in the corner that you weren't looking at, forgot about, didn't notice, once you notice them, face it, process through it, heal through it, and then cleanse your energy and clear it out. Because it's like, once you face it, you don't need to keep looking at it. You need to let it go. Let it fly like it was never there in the first place. We'll always remember the things that happen to us, good, bad, or indifferent, but the bad things that do happen to us don't define us, and they don't belong in our future. It's like we can remember so that we don't make the same mistakes, but it just needs to be a distant memory kind of thing. But I feel like somebody might be working through little things like that. And this feels like it's going to be kind of a quick process because you've already gone through so much healing, and you've done so much work. Like, you already have these coping skills. Basically, I don't even want to call them coping skills. Like, you already have the tools you need to achieve this. So it's going to go a lot faster than when we first start the healing journey. My word. We'll see what those are because they just won't come out. So anyways, and then I feel like once that is released, it'll be time for tea. It'll be time for a break. Because that's what's making me think of, like, tea time. Oh, it's time to just sit down and just relax. But if you think about it, tea is usually very calming. It's therapeutic. It can be healing depending on what herbs you use. Because then it's time to just relax and wait for the next adventure. Something really great is coming in for someone because you have put the work in. You might notice this blessing, whatever it is, whatever good things coming your way, you might notice it in bits and pieces as you heal those little bits and pieces. As you clean up the cobwebs in the corner, things are going to be a little brighter every day. So it's like as you work on this little bit and clear it, something good replaces it. That's what it feels like energetically, at least. I don't know, for some reason this just popped in my head, so it might happen with my channel. Things are going to be different on this channel, apparently. The way that I read is always changing and evolving, because, like, if you think about it, well, if some of you know, some of you don't. Some of you have been with me for many years, since the very beginning, and others of you haven't. But in the beginning, I would do, quote unquote, what everybody else did, you know, certain spreads. You know, these are the types of readings people want to hear. They want to see this. It was like I was gearing everything towards being accepted by a broad, major audience, when tarot readings aren't about that. You know, they're about messages that come through for whoever needs to hear them. So it's like, if you only have one subscriber, you're not making any money if you do this type of thing. It's not about how many people are there listening, paying attention, or even saying that they resonate with whatever message. It's about getting the message out so that the right person will receive it, whether they let you know or not. That's the purpose here. Well, that's the purpose on my channel, I'm just saying. But that's why there's usually multiple messages within any single reading. But I don't know what these changes are going to be, but Spirit's basically letting us all know collectively that we're evolving here. And if you followed me, like I said, from the beginning to now, my style has kind of stayed the same. I don't know how to, like, the way I receive messages changes too. Yeah, it's all changed. It's just like, it's evolving over time. And that's what this situation is going to do for you. It's just going to keep growing and evolving over time, but that's what's going on with you as well. So think back to the start of your ascension process, the start of your healing journey for yourself. Think of yourself in that moment and look at yourself today. Like, kind of see the progression, because we don't always look back. You know, we just go, yeah, I've already let that go. But what does that journey look like for you? How much have you really gone through? How much have you really overcame? Look at that and be proud of yourself. That's what I want to say for someone. Healing heart. It's all about healing today, just saying, which is beautiful. Face your shadow and grow, which is what I was talking about. Because this isn't a big shadow. It's just the cobwebs in the corner, like I said. I don't know. These aren't like, that looks like a shadow figure, shadow man or something. But this doesn't feel scary to me. So whatever somebody needs to face now, currently, whatever these little cobwebs are, it's not scary. And it's not really difficult. It feels more like nuisance energy. But it's your own, you know, because it's pertaining to something you got to release and let go of, you know, fear and shit. Let's see if we can get a little bit more on that. Give me more on healing heart, please, before I move on. I just heard there are some things that you need to know, and then there are some things that just don't matter. So if any of you are like looking for information, or you feel like you need some type of closure, or you wish someone would give you the truth, or tell you the truth, whatever, about something, you might not really need to know that. Is it necessary to know the why behind certain things? So someone might need to release issues pertaining to them and another person, like something that happened between you and someone. Like, why did this happen? Because people are assholes, that's why. You know, it doesn't matter why necessarily. Doubts, lonely, negativity, not hopeful, discontentment. Well, someone's in some energy, just saying. I just heard, are you doing this just because you're lonely? Because you want either attention or companionship? Or is it right for you? This could pertain to a relationship situation for someone, not for all of you. Even if you're not dating anyone, like, why are you looking for love right now? Especially if your environment isn't really conducive to a healthy behavior. a healthy relationship at whatever time. This could be something that somebody needs to reflect on as well, like with past relationships if it's not currently going on. Because I don't feel like most of you are lonely. I do feel loner energy where, you know, you might be single and just keeping to your damn self, which is fine. There's a difference between being alone and lonely. Someone's not happy with being alone, and they need to face why that is. Like, why do you feel like you need someone around? Why do you feel like you need a lover or a partner or whatever? And it's not about what you want, because yeah, we all want that loving partnership where we can confide in somebody and have support and have someone be there, you know, especially if it's healthy and true and real and long lasting. We all want that. Well, maybe not all of us, but most of us. But this is someone that is not about what they want, it's what they feel that they need. So if you feel like you need somebody, like you always have to have somebody around, or you always have to date someone because you need that, there's a piece within you, the cobwebs in the corner, that need to be looked at, because somebody's looking at relationships all wrong. Like I said, that's not for everyone. There's many messages within my reading, so only take on what fits for you. But there is someone here that's looking at partnerships all wrong because there's something within them they need to face, like as to why they feel the need to be with somebody. Because like I said, there's a difference between wanting someone and needing someone, and I kind of feel that I need you energy, even if you or whoever is not looking at a specific person in that way, like I need you specifically. It's just like I always need someone. That's something that needs to be worked through for someone. Daring heart. Learn to lead from wisdom. Learn to lead with the bullshit that you've dealt with in the past. You know what I mean? Like I said, you'll never forget the stuff you've gone through. You're just not carrying it with you. It's not holding you down, and it's not weighing you down anymore, basically. But you're not an idiot, so you're not gonna repeat history over and over and over again so that you experience these crappy experiences on repeat, you know? So I feel like with lead from wisdom, it's lead your own life in a smart way so that you don't make the same mistakes that you once did. Some of you could have been in that unhealthy energy where you felt like you needed to be in a relationship, or you needed someone around all the time, and now you don't because you've healed. But if it's not just about leading your own life through your past lessons, ultimately, some of you might be looking into or wanting to, you could be doing it right now, you could be leading by example, showing other people or another person how to get out of that energy, how to work through problematic situations. Because this is making me feel like I've been there energy, like I've gone through that. I have a generalized understanding of what you're going through and dealing with because I've gone through blah, blah, blah myself, kind of thing. And I'm here to give you advice. You can take it or leave it because everyone has free will, just saying. But there's someone out there that should do that or is or wants to. Because this is leading by example. That's just what it feels like. I don't know why I'm like... what the fuck that's about. Alright. You know what's making me think of, too, is like what we instill in our kids and our children with like our dating habits or just our habits in general. Our kids usually learn through repetition and what they see because they're little sponges. They absorb everything. And we don't always think that the things that we're doing and saying around them are bad or will influence them down the line, but it does. Like why do you think they say, like people say, how do I want to say this? Because it's not just about fathers, it can be about mothers too. A lot of times subconsciously people look for their parent in their partner and not saying, oh, I need a mommy or I need a daddy. Not like that, because that's a problem all in itself. This is something else. It's attributes. It's how somebody acts. It's how they, their personality, things like that. It's subconscious. It's not a conscious thing like you're going, oh, you are just like my father, so I'm going to date you, or you're just like my mom, so I love that. It's a comforting thing because it's what you know, even if you came from an abusive household. So if that parent is abusive or toxic or unhealthy or whatever, you're going to subconsciously look for those traits because you're comfortable with it. Even though you might not want it, it's something that's like ingrained in you because it's all learned from how you grew up. Why am I going off on this? Because I feel like needing to break that cycle, maybe, especially if said parent wasn't the healthiest, but we instill, okay, teaching, learn behavior is where was starting with that, with like children. Some things are just ingrained in us because it's all subconscious. There could be something along those lines that needs to be worked through for somebody because they're not looking at their patterns and behaviors in that way. And I'm not saying point the finger and like do the whole blame game and say, oh, my mom or dad is stupid or sucks or whatever, because sometimes this is all innocently done. Not always. It just depends on your life and your situation and who your parents are and how they roll. But sometimes it's just innocent because we don't realize the effects that our behavior has on our children. And then they look for that when they get older without even realizing it. I kind of feel like that's where some of this stemmed from, even if it's not pertaining to actual abuse. Some of these problems and stuff, some of the cobwebs in the corner. Now I just heard it's no one's fault but your own, so I have no clue what the hell that's pertaining to. This is the card I was thinking of in the QR code read. It didn't come out, but it popped in my head. Self-love, intentions, focused on desires of the heart, self-worth, expansion, and manifesting. Manifest with love. Manifest what you truly want, not what you think you need. No matter what we're talking about. Masculine energy. This is like take charge is what it makes me think of whenever masculine energy pops up. Yang. Logical, confident, assertive, protective. There's also wounded, controlling, aggressive, and like egotistic, basically. Because there's always two sides to energy, positive and negative. Too much of anything can be bad, you know what I mean? All right, where am I going with this? Because I keep staring at the word logical. Learn from the past, because this is under daring heart. Learn to lead from wisdom. So it's playing your cards right, being smart, being logical in a situation pertaining to your self-worth and boundaries. You know, it's like no matter how much passion there is between you and somebody, why are you drawn to them? Is it just lustful energy? Is it just passion? Look at those traits. Is it because they remind you somewhere in there of someone else? Because this is making me think of, like, I'm so magnetically drawn to Joe Schmo over here, but they treat me like shit. Or it's not really the relationship I want, I just want the person. Why? You know, ask yourself those questions. And look back over the past and see if there's some traits there within this person that you're drawn to. Or maybe a lot of the people you've dated act the same way. What's the common denominator here? And once you see it, you'll be able to, you know, fix the situation and have that epiphany moment and set that boundary with said person or with yourself. You know, like, okay, I'm not going to tolerate this. This is not, it's like, I don't care how hot you are. I don't care how drawn to you I am. I don't like the way you act. That's not for me. You know, that aspect of you and this is not for me, kind of thing. Don't just settle. That's basically what this feels like. Don't settle for less than you deserve. just because someone's cute, or just because you feel like you have a connection. Because you might have a connection with a certain person who just isn't right for you because of they haven't done the work, you know what I mean, on themselves. And that's totally out of your hands. There's nothing you can do about that kind of stuff. So let's see. What else do we have going on here? It's time to play. And then innocence is here. This person could be very immature, whoever you're dealing with, or that's the type of people you deal with. Don't be naive. It's time to play. I mean, hell, if you just want to play around because someone's hot, go right ahead, especially if you're single. Just don't get attached to people in that energy because they don't usually stick around. And don't beat yourself up if you do get played. You know, if you're feeling one way and then somebody shows you a whole other side of them, that's not a reflection on you. That's a reflection on them, because people like that usually fear intimacy. And then, of course, you know, when it happens to us, it's like when you get used like that, it's like, well, what did I do wrong? Am I ugly? Am I this? Am I that? Most of you won't sit there and beat yourselves up, but it does happen. And maybe you did once upon a time if it did happen to you in the past. You know, there could be a memory in there about that maybe you got to release. Like, look at it, like why you blamed yourself for somebody else's piss poor choices and actions. Probably because you were interested. It's like, it's not their fucking fault. Well, they were definitely locked up if that was the case. Their heart chakra was not open to anyone, not just you. All right, for some of you, there could be someone that was in that energy in the past that might come forward again and talk to you. And you could look at it like, history's going to repeat itself with this person. You're just going to do same old, same old. But I don't think that's going to happen that way, because this person knows that you're not going to put up with their shit, whoever they are. So when they come forward, you're going to handle them very differently. So like, say, anytime this person ever hit you up, you would cave in and sleep with them, or you would give them the benefit of the doubt and let the past go and just see what happened next kind of thing. I don't feel that happening. I feel you going, I'm going to put my boundaries right in place right off the bat. Don't you dare cross them. We can talk and kind of leave it at that and see what happens. I don't know. I feel like someone who crossed a line with you in the past might come in and start respecting your boundaries, because they're not looking at you as being a bitch or an asshole anymore, especially if you made it clear to them that you will not tolerate blah, 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 whatever. They could have been like, what the fuck, you changed? Like, I'm not dealing with this, because they had their own shit that they had to work through. It had nothing to do with you. You weren't being cruel to them. You were taking care of yourself and protecting yourself from crappy people and energy. You know what I mean? Like, me setting these boundaries has nothing to do with you or whoever. It has to do with me. It has to do with the self. And someone's actually seeing that, like, oh, that's why you said that. That's why you acted that way. That makes more sense. Sorry, I crossed the line with you, kind of thing. So some of you might actually just get an apology from somebody, and it might just stay at that. But I don't feel like you're really going to fully trust the situation just because of history. But I do feel like you would accept whatever they said, because you're in a stronger place now than you were before. That's what it feels like. Especially if that happens with you. Telepathy. Telepathic communication. You could be picking up on this person. I do feel like there's boundaries in place with that as well. Now, it's not, you're not as wide open as you once were. So if you were dealing, okay, like say telepathy is a gift of yours, and when it first occurred for you, it could have been very overwhelming and like, where the hell is this coming from? Like, I don't know. It's just like almost listening to every message that isn't your own thought kind of thing and taking it on when that could be problematic, because people's thoughts aren't always factual. It's just how they think, their opinions, how they feel, and whatever. And if someone's sending that your way, if they're aware of it, it can really fuck with your head. So that could have happened in this situation, but regardless of anyone intentionally doing that, if you're picking up on other people's thoughts, some thoughts suck. Some are scary, especially when they're in this crappy energy, you know? I kind of feel like now you have learned to set up boundaries, like walls, basically, and it's not blocking everything out. It's so that you don't get bombarded and overloaded with information. It's more clear now, or it will be coming up. Because you're just going with the flow with things and not taking everything to heart. Because, I don't know, I just heard I hate you. So it's reminding me, because I don't feel like anyone's saying that right now. I mean, they could be, but, like, say, you know, you do telepathic communication and there's someone that you're interested in, you're thinking about them in whatever loving way that you do. And during those thoughts, you hear, I hate you. And then it's like, so-and-so hates me? Who the hell? Where'd that come from? Or like all these mean things. If you're okay, what I want to say with that is, if you're truly reading said person's mind, say it's a person you have feelings for, and then you hear something like that, it's just their thoughts. They might not be thinking of you at the same time. Even though you might be picking up on it, they might hate somebody else, and you just don't know who the hell they're looking at or what the circumstances are. Don't take that shit on as your own. No matter where the thoughts come from, even if it is geared towards you. So there could have been misinformation here, because somebody was thinking about whatever they were thinking about, and if you don't have a context, it will be taken out of context, you know what I mean? It won't be understood fully. All we need is R, and this will be over. Because L is like, with love, L is, you can barely see it. It's like I'm waiting for R, and it will be over. I don't know what the hell that means, but that's what spells over. So maybe somebody's name begins with R? Or once you're ready, something will be over? Just waiting for R, and it'll all be over. Whatever that means to you, I'm not going to focus on it. So, let's see. Give me some more on this telepathy. Someone's burning the candle at both ends, which can be how you do reverse magic as well, but that's like putting a lot of work in, you know, burning your ass out kind of thing. These are new cards. They're hard to shuffle right now. So, went a little wonky there for a minute. Something was brand new and it went a little wonky. It's like you gotta get used to it, break it in. Well, with telepathy, yeah, you gotta get used to that. It takes time to have an understanding, period. I don't feel these because that was, I don't feel these because that was just a mistake. So there could be some information that you're just not feeling because it was a mistake. Or you made a mistake with certain information in the past. But, you know, we're all fucking human. It happens. And not many humans deal with telepathic communication and spiritual gifts because they're not woke to it. They don't see or believe. They're not there, kind of thing. And that's okay. But a lot more people these days are waking up to this stuff and actually seeing, you know, that it's true, that it's real, that this shit happens. A lot of people are ascending. Because something's coming, I'm just saying. It's almost like we're being prepared. The quote-unquote chosen ones, whether you read or talk to people and share messages or not, no matter what you do, even if it's just for the self, it's like a lot of people are ascending and they're being taught. It's like you need to learn this now and have a good understanding because something's coming. I used to say that in the beginning too, and I didn't know what that meant because there was a lot of crazy messages that came through, and the energy was like, "What the mother of crap?" And it was pretty scary, just saying. I was very isolated and alone through that time because it was just so intense, and nobody understood. A lot more people have a generalized understanding of what people go through when they wake up in that way, you know, when that shit hits them. When people are going through, you know, not just the awakening process, but dealing with psychic abilities and gifts. Because it can be terrifying for the person who's going through it, especially if it's just like a sudden thing. Like, I didn't do this before, it never happened to me, and now what? Or if something intensifies. But I feel like, because I said this a long time ago, it's like they're preparing, spirit is preparing you for something big that's coming. And like I said, at the time, with all that crazy energy, I was thinking it was like, so-and-so's gonna do this, who's gonna harm me? Like, because that's what it felt like. It felt dangerous and scary, and I was like, is that what's coming? You know, it was like, what the mother of crap is this? But this feels like, I want to say globally, it's like these people who are waking up spiritually are being prepared for something massive, basically. I'm not sure what that massive thing is. What the fuck did I do here? What in the mo? Wait, yeah, that's right. Everything's all mixed up now. Okay, let's see. So maybe some messages got mixed up because somebody wasn't fully understanding. Been there. It's a learning curve. I'm not afraid to admit that I've been wrong before or that I misunderstood something, because when you read for the public, it's really fucking hard to know where shit goes unless you have a focus. All right. Or where information's coming from. That will change. That will definitely change for me because I feel something coming in my own life. But I feel like if any of you have dealt with that or are dealing with it and try to find clarity with certain information that comes through, that will clear. It will make more sense. Especially if you slow down and take the time for yourself. Meditate, definitely. And write things down even if they seem stupid. Because I've said this a bunch of times, but like the time I wrote down someone's name, someone I knew, well, I still know them, they're just not here anymore. They passed away, but anyways, I wrote down their name and I wrote gun and shot, and I wrote down that person's girlfriend's name at the time too, and I'm like, why am I writing this? And at the time, in my mind, I'm going, why would they want to do that to me? It had nothing to do with me, but it felt personal. That energy, when I wrote it, it felt personal. So when I receive messages, it feels like me. Like if I feel someone's ailment, how they passed, if an illness, anything like that, it feels like it's happening to me. But it's not me. It will pass because it's just spirit's way of showing me, because I get information in many ways. But that's how I felt. I was like, someone's out to get me. But I wrote it down, seems stupid, and I'm like, just let it go, don't worry about it, because that's what I heard, like, it's not about you, don't worry about it. But it still felt so significant to me that I couldn't let it go at the time, because I was learning. This was a few years ago, and receiving information that way was brand fucking new to me at the time, because it was like, what? But anyways, a couple years after that, he passed away because he was murdered. He was shot. And I do feel they listed it in the paper that it was a home invasion gone wrong, and his girlfriend was there at the time too. Same chick I wrote down. I didn't write down the perpetrator's name or anything, but because the way I was looking at it was like them wanting to attack me, but that person's a drug dealer, and the shit that he would sell, they would sell, whatever, will make you paranoid and hallucinate, or it can form psychosis of some kind and make people deranged like that when they're really high, or when they're calming down and they need more. And I kind of feel, and that they would take it personal. I almost feel like you're out to get me. Like there was a personal vendetta there. Paranoia is what I was feeling when I wrote that. And how somebody broke in to probably steal his stash and money and shit, and to get what they wanted, and killed him. But it's weird how I felt in that moment when I wrote it. Made no sense because I was looking at it all wrong, because it felt like me. And I wasn't even talking to that person at the time. So I was like, why the hell? This is weird. Why is that name coming up? Oh, well, and wrote it down. I also drew a picture on the next page that says staring down the barrel of a 45. And I was like, oh, man. But that could mean multiple things, especially for me personally. I'm just saying, because that wasn't tied to that message. It's just weird that I drew it. So anyways, breakthrough. Well, there's a breakthrough here, figuring shit out. Navigate life's many twists and turns with elegance and resilience. Navigate through these twists and turns. Because there's something with telepathy that's very unexpected. And I'm explaining my experiences little by little and things like that I went through just to help. Because if you pick up on anything like this in a similar way, or in the same way that I do, it will feel like you. It will feel like you're under attack. It'll feel like someone's watching you. So if you're picking up on stalker energy, you might go, you get the creeps, like, who's watching me? I gotta look out my window. Like, I've reenacted other people's behaviors because of energy before. It wasn't anything like severe, but here's a minor example. And now that I have these more protection up, and I only let in certain things, you know, what's important, or when I feel like it, if I'm like, yeah, what do we got to know today, kind of thing. It's different now, but there's someone in my house that is a big drinker. You know, I like to drink here and there. You know, I do tipsy tarot and stuff every once in a while, but I don't like to do it every day. And I don't need to do it every day, you know. But there's someone around who thinks of it very heavily. They think of it a lot. And I wasn't really connecting it at first, because I would be like, oh, fine, all during the day. And then come, I don't know, like 2, 3 o'clock, all of a sudden in my head, it would just pop in like, I need a drink. And nothing bad was going on. It's not like I needed to cope with anything, or I was stressed or wanted to have a good time. I'm like in the middle of cleaning going, wait a minute, let me stop. I gotta have a drink? What? Like, moments like that's a intrusive thought that isn't your own, because you're doing something else and it makes no sense to you or the situation. But sometimes I would cave into that, like, because I would feel it. It wasn't just a thought. It was like, I need a fucking drink right now. And I would go out and buy a bottle and pour myself a drink. And I'd be like, I don't even know what that was about. Like, why do I need it? And then once I recognized that it wasn't coming from me, it stopped. Because when it would come in, I'd be like, I don't need a fucking drink. And I'd just think of something else. Like, that ain't me. But it was confusing at first, because I could literally feel it. So it's not just like when a random thought pops in and you're just like, can let it fly by. If you don't fully understand it, it's like you feel it. Like the urge, the need, the want, the whatever. If you pick up on a stalker and they're being all creepy and like passionate and like, you're gonna fucking feel it. I'm talking to somebody who does feel energies like that, and it feels confusing to you. Because trust me, it can be. It can be. I'm not going to look into this love note thing because I kind of feel like that's over. Because I guess when R shows up, it's over. Or when we write R. Maybe somebody needs to write somebody a note. Or a letter. To end something. Fuck it. Let's see. Give me one. Nope, not one of these. Stressful choices, chaos, and uncertainty. Some rough waters here, just saying. Yeah, somebody doesn't know what to do. So maybe that's why it's not completely over yet for them. I don't know if this is between you and somebody or if it's the past that somebody needs to let go of, you or them. But it doesn't feel like, okay, so like if you're thinking of someone right now, it doesn't feel like, I can't say that because whoever needs to get over someone is probably thinking about him. So I don't really know who the fuck this is for. I don't know if it's on your end or someone you're connecting to's end. Someone needs to let go of the past. We'll just leave it at that because I'm just going to convolute the message. So, and a car is significant with that as well. So maybe somebody shares a vehicle or has to give people rides or car issues. Cutting edge, slice through obstacles and carve a path towards your dreams. Sorry, the writing is so tiny. Wish granted. The outcome may not be exactly what you want, but it's what you need. That's how I started this damn reading. What do you want? It's not necessarily what you need, because that's how I started at the beginning with when it comes to crappy relationships and releasing shit. But I always say that you can't always get what you want. The specific person or whatever. We're not going to win the lottery today, you know? But you get what you need. Is that still in my pocket? It is. I found a dime today. Found a penny yesterday. But anyways, I don't know why I wanted to share that. So, yeah, that's where we're going to leave this because it's just a lot of healing. And I feel like it will work out because there is a wish granted here. Because there's clarity. Somebody's figuring something out. And they're ready to embrace the unknown because what they know and what's going on in their current environment is just dull and boring and not what they want. But also with embracing the unknown, it's like the learning curve I'm talking about with spirituality and gifts and stuff. That's jumping into the unknown because it's uncharted territory. You got to figure it out for yourself. There's someone here who might be having a hard time connecting to someone who is gifted because it's uncharted territory. It's like, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't always need to know. Go with the flow. And learn the process. Sometimes just talking to somebody can provide the clarity that we need, the understanding that we need over subject matters, not even just love and whatever, you know? But anyways, that's what I have for you guys. Love you long time. Talk to you soon. Peace.